Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurudeva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Narayana. Many studies of happiness, on happiness, have identified the three most satisfying professions. What are the three most satisfying professions that are available to us? Number one, teaching good enough. I'm very large-hearted with your answers. Working for the clergy. In other words, living and teaching relating to the Creator. Clergy. Number two? Firefighters. That's right. The second most satisfying profession is being a firefighter. And it's so directly service-oriented. Being a firefighter. I was telling Sheila recently how proud I would be if Vyasa became a firefighter. Because his favorite book is Firefighter Frank. Vyasa, what do the fire trucks do when they're on the streets? Wee, wee. And the third most satisfying profession? Ticket agents. People that collect tickets, like at a concert or the movies, because they feel like they're part of that, even though they're not, but they feel like they're part of that. There's so much excitement. And just to put this totally in context, what's at number 11? That's right, physicians. And 28? Pharmacists. The most satisfying professions are those relating to the Creator, those engaged in service, those where there's a relationship. When we like what we do, we start to love who we are. When we like what we do, we naturally go deeper and start to love who we are. If you analyze your life and you don't like what you do, you probably don't like who you are, leave alone love who you are. Now, how do we start to like what we do? And I'll give you some context to this. My younger sister is a chartered accountant, and I used to teach a class at her home. I was in between classes, so I would always come to her home early, her apartment in Toronto. And every Sunday she would tell me, I hate my job, what should I do? And every Sunday I told her, you have two options, change your job or change your mind. And then every Sunday she would say, good, I'm going to change my job. And I said, that's fine. And every Sunday I would say, that's fine, but eventually you're going to find a way to be dissatisfied in that job too. That you have to change your mind. And after decades and centuries, she finally took my advice, and she has changed her mind towards her new job. It's when you know what you're doing that you start to like what you do and you start to love who you are. But if you don't know what you're doing, you can't like what you're doing, right? If you don't know what you're eating, does it taste as good? Is it supposed to be slimy? And the same goes with movies, the same goes with puja, correct? If I don't know what I'm doing in a puja, I don't really like doing puja, which is why we have that feeling I'm finished, and we look like all of you during Mauna. Which is why the theme for our retreat this year is building Bhakti. And you can change that word building into jnana. That jnana will lead to Bhakti. Knowledge will lead to love. When I know what I'm doing, I will like what I'm doing, I will love who I am. And we're taking up this theme through one of the most lovely scriptures that is. And I feel an inaccessible scripture. I can't remember a young adults retreat where this was the subject matter. We typically take more known subjects, more known texts. In most of the texts that you've studied, how many purposes of life are there? How many purusharthas? There's 4. But when you study Ramayana, when you study Srimad Bhagavatam, there's actually 5. There is dharma, which is position. There is artha, which is possession. There is kama, which is pleasure. There is moksha, which is peace. And the 5th is known as bhakti, or love. We are studying a precious, inaccessible scripture. Yesterday I'd referenced our gathering as a reunion. You know, we've known each other, we've been together, many of us, for 12 years now. For 12 years we've been studying together, traveling together, teasing each other. And I'm challenging all of those who have been around for the 12 years to try to list out all of the retreats that we've engaged in together, all of the yatras we've been on, the workshops, but just try the retreats at least from 2008 to now. And it's because we love each other. All of your Mona. But we are giving each other time, no? How can you say we don't love each other when we are giving each other this time, totally voluntarily? There's so many people from the time we had dinner to now that have signed up for this retreat, no? That's awesome that this has happened, this inspiration. The word Bhagavata means all that is related to God. Bhagavata is all that is leading to God, all that is an expression of God. So Bhagavata and God are synonyms with each other. The Sanskrit word for God is Bhagavan. Bhaga means fortunes, virtues, and Van means the one who has. This word God is scientific. It is objective in the study of Vedanta. The one who has every virtue endlessly. That's what Bhagavan means. Every virtue endlessly. And I want you to think of virtues in our context as ideals. God is Bhagavan, the one who is every ideal endlessly. And these ideals in our culture, in our religion, are presented as idols. You have an idol there, you have an idol there, there's an idol there, there's an idol there, there's idols everywhere. To remind us of those ideals, to remind us of those virtues. The word bhakti is also scientific. It is objective in Vedanta. It means identifying. Identifying. Swami Chinmayananda shares this a lot. Love is identification. What do we love the most in this room? Our bodies. Because you identify fully with your body. So bhakti is identification. And this identification is also a very scientific, objective word or principle. Your identification is that which you give to. Okay, so watch the framework, okay? Bhakti is identification. Whatever you identify with, you have bhakti towards that. You love that. Now, how do you measure, how do you know identification? Where you are giving. Giving your resources, giving your time, giving your effort. If all of your resources go towards a certain store, because you love it. Someone loves American Eagle more, someone loves The Gap more, right? Like that. Everyone loves Amazon more. Where your resources and time and effort go. Really, if you spend more money on Amazon than you give to a certain charity, you love Amazon more. How can you say otherwise? You have to decide that. You have to make that your own truth. So bhakti is identifying, and identifying is giving. In Srimad Bhagavatam, the original student is Bhagwan Brahma. And the original question is, who am I? And we don't know how old this text is. Anthropologists are wrong. This is why I'm never invited to any university. Only to business sectors where they're like, you're right. It's all about passion. We don't know how old this text is. And obviously, I feel it's eternal, but in a more objective way, we don't know how old it is. Who am I? But that question is still floating, isn't it? That question will go on forever. And the original teacher, the original message, is Bhagwan Narayana. And essentially, Bhagwan Narayana says, and I'm going to chant this again, this is the first shloka of Srimad Bhagavatam. We're not in Chatushloki Bhagavatam yet. Janmadhyasya yatonvayaditaratas charteshva bhignaswarat tene brahma hridaya adi kavaye muhyanti yatsurayah tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra trisargo mrisha dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam satyam param dhimahi. The two key words to remember in all of this, there's lots, but the two key words are swarat. Swarat means the one who's independent. What should my relationship be with the one who's independent? I should engage in dhimahi. I should contemplate on the one who is independent. Who am I? That's the question. The answer is contemplate on the one who is independent. Contemplate on Bhagwan. Contemplate on God. We're in sync with each other? Okay. The known questioner that we're more exposed to, Bala Bhagavatam, etc., is Raja Parikshita. And the known questioner, the known question is, what should a dying person do? But I want you to simplify that. It's not what a dying person should do, it's what am I to do? First question, who am I? Second question, what am I to do? Again, we don't know how old this is, but it's going on all the time. This is one of the most common questions that people ask me is, I don't know if what I'm doing is right or wrong. What am I to do with my schooling, with my relationships, with my sadhana? What am I to do? And the known answer is Rishi Shuka. Do you know what Shuka means? Anyone? Most people don't, so our son's name is Shuka. And even though I'm openly saying Shuka, they'll pronounce it, oh, Sukha. Shuka means parrot. And Vyasa means editor. So we negligent parents have named our kid Editor and Parrot. But really that makes us cool, right? If you name your kid some vegetable or some fruit, that makes you modern, right? The word shuka does mean parrot, but the implication of that, a parrot only eats the sweetest fruits. If you ever see a parrot eating a fruit, you don't have to question it. You should also eat that fruit. They've tasted it for you. In other words, it's the essence of the essence. So Rishi Shuka responds to Raja Parikshita. Essentially, this is the second shloka. Dharma projita ketavotra paramo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayon mulanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va parerishwaraha Sadyo hridyavaruddya tetra kritibihi shushrushubistatchanat. And here are your key words. Sushrushubihi, that's one word. Many syllables, but one word. And dharma. Those are your key words here. Sushrushubihi means listening. It is through listening that we begin to follow dharma. Who am I? I should contemplate on the independent. What am I to do? I should follow dharma by listening. Everyone's oriented to the original question, the original answer. Making this more relative, I had shared with all of you, if you want to contemplate, you first have to reflect. If you want to reflect, you first have to introspect. So the tactile message here is that we should give more time to introspection. We should give more effort towards reflection. I gave you another model. Introspection, reflection, contemplation comes from the Upanishads, but I gave you a more modern message too, which Acharya Shankara gives in the word bhaja. How do you begin bhaja? Sing. If someone went into your YouTube history, would you be proud of your YouTube history? Or kind of scared of the immorality and illegality of your YouTube history? To sing, to be in an environment like this. But that's not enough. One has to go deeper. Next is seek. To find more meaning in this environment. And after that is to serve. See, you're changing your lifestyle. And that's what a huge predicament is for those who are young adults and evolving adults, is our lifestyle. We want this vision, but our lifestyle doesn't allow us to have that vision. We want satya, but there's no dharma. So the message is our lifestyle needs to change. Once that becomes more natural, comes worship. And yesterday I used the word love. Here I'm using the word become. Whatever you worship, you start to become. And finally, be. Okay. Please keep reflecting on this. And now, we'll enter Chatushloki Bhagavatam. How many shlokas in Bhagavatam are there? In this Bhagavatam? 4. We're starting Chatushloki Bhagavatam. How many verses? 18,000. So there's 4. The 4 key words. What was the key word for shloka 1? Infinity. Number 2? Illusion. Number 3? Creation. Number 4? Extraction. Remember that word as we go through these shlokas. Can you tell me what page you're on? So everyone knows? 9. You're on page 9. I have a different text. I'll chant each quarter. You please repeat. Ahameva samevagre. Nanyad yat sadasat param. Paschadaham yadetacha. Yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. Yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. We'll chant this together at the end after we learn each of these quarters. The first quarter is sharing that which is universal is that which is the truth. That which is most universal is that which is most truthful. Now I want you to think about your own life. What is the most universal part of your life? Think deeply about this, otherwise you're not going to get it. What is the most universal part of, from the first memory you had to the memory right now? What has not left you? What has not changed? Breathing, yes, that's true, but I want you to go deeper than that. Okay, you're using the word me, but tell me, how would you explain that to someone who's 3 years old, what me is? So you and a 3-year-old are the same understanding, right? What's me? He's right. He's using a very, I don't know, not a slang word, but a common word. But what is it? What is the objectivity to all of this?
Everything that we do, we try to do with the idea that everything else happens.
Good enough. One of the most universal experiences of ours is the pursuit of joy or ananda. Okay, there's your first hint. Now tell me, what else is most universal about us? Existence. You can't deny your own experience. And if you're denying your own experience, you're still existing to deny your own experience. That which is most universal is most truthful. So we analyze the pursuit of happiness never changes. The experience of existence is universal, and we call that sat. And what's also there? Chit, the awareness that I exist, the awareness that I want to be happy. If we turn all the lights off and I say, hey, are you there? Are you going to say, turn the lights back on, then we'll know? Your breathing, or your body, yes, you need your lights, the light to see the texture of your hand, what's on your hand. But if the light's on or off, you know that you're there, that you're pursuing happiness. So in this first quarter, what is shared is, what is most universal is most truthful, and we call that infinity. Infinity. Is infinity created? Yes or no? Can you multiply numbers to create infinity? So is infinity created? No one here looks too confident. And that's part of the whole building part. We've been together for 12 years. You've been studying Vedanta longer than I have. We have information about infinity. We don't have knowledge about infinity. Shared differently, this is the way that Guruji taught us this. We all know of God, but we don't know God. We know of God, but we don't know God. That's the habit of externalizing. Infinity is not created, which automatically means infinity cannot be destroyed, which automatically means infinity is. Infinity is real. Infinity is real. Second quarter. What Bhagavan Narayana is explaining to Bhagavan Brahma, infinity is not caused. Earlier I used the word created. He uses the word infinity is not caused. You have to think deeply about this. If infinity is not caused, logically, what would be the next implication? There's no effect. Go a little bit behind that.
I guess infinity wouldn't be affected.
Yes, we're going to get to that. Infinity is not a cause. If infinity is not caused, infinity is not a cause. Okay? Infinity is not caused. You yourself said that. It's not created. You can't create infinity. If it's not caused, that means it can't be a cause. Cannot be a cause. Logically, see, if I keep using the word logically, it makes me right, correct? If I keep using the word, it's scientific. Oh, okay. And then I take my glasses off like this. Like that whole image of thinking man. Have you seen that image of thinking man? Just because you put your hands like, so many of you are, you're like this. Infinity is not a cause. Not a cause. And that will become more clear in the next shloka. But now I'm going to go to the third quarter. Paschad aham yadet tacha. What this means is, if, this is capital IF, if, what did I just say? If. But do it with that emotion. Go, what did I just say? If. That's like you're burping or something. Do it with passion. Go. If. Now we just shady. If. If there is a cause, as in, if infinity is a cause, that cause does not change. If infinity is a cause. Now, why I'm being emphatic about if, it shows how loving, how compassionate, how relatable Bhagavan Narayana is. Because he already said infinity is not a cause, but he also knows Bhagavan Brahma feels like he's created. He essentially is going to be told, you have to create. So Bhagavan Narayana is coming way down and saying, if, because I know you feel that you're created, very much like us, correct? We all feel we're the effect of our parents. If infinity is a cause, understand that infinity does not change. Does not change. What is this body made of? Give me some of the materials this body's made of. Water, carbon, oxygen, sugar, cereal, Twinkies, burritos. If you just highlight the food aspect, do you know what the word anna means? Yes, but when I ask you such questions, I don't want such obvious answers. Right? I came all the way here for a dictionary lesson. Anna means that which is eaten and that which eats. First, I eat food, and then essentially I become food. Yes? Every one of us will be composted and become food. So we're really all cannibals. If you go deeper than that food, deeper than the water, deeper than whatever else you're going to say, what's deeper than water? What's water dependent on? Energy. What's energy dependent on? Existence. When I'm born, does existence change? When I become unhealthy, does existence change? When I die, does existence change? Now we go back to the statement. If infinity is a cause, that cause doesn't change. Existence does not change. Your awareness does not change. And most objectively, your pursuit of happiness does not change. I recently read that Nike sold the most jerseys in a season based on the recent World Cup, the Women's World Cup. They've never sold more jerseys ever in a period of time. And that made me so happy to see such excitement towards football primarily, and then women's football secondarily. And I share that because there's some sports in Canada where women's sports, where people just don't go. They have had to shut down those entire leagues, which is so disappointing that that happens. And the reason why I'm sharing this, I forgot. I was just so excited about women's soccer that I forgot what I was going to share. Yes, now I got it. If all of us are on a football field and all of us are trying to score over there, we're all trying to put the ball in that net, what does that mean about all of us? We're all on the same team. Whether you shoot laterally or you put it out of bounds or you score on your own net. But that still means you're on our team, right? Our pursuit of happiness never changes. Whether you actually become more happy or more sad, but you're still thinking and speaking and acting for happiness. Even one who commits suicide, they feel that they will be moving forward towards that aspiration by not having the pain of this body and the suffering of this mind. That cause never changes. Whether you are happy or not, you're still going to be living for happiness. And the challenge to all of us, if you know that's the only pursuit in your life that's never going to change, how much time are you giving towards that pursuit? And if that's the pursuit, why are we going in roundabout ways to get there? Why would you bring in the traffic of Delhi when you can bring the openness of the Autobahn? In Delhi, if you want to go 5 kilometers, how long does it take you? 5 hours, right? It's an hour a kilometer. You should just walk and you'll get there faster. But if you're on the Autobahn, there's no conditions there about how fast you can go. If infinity is a cause, this cause doesn't change. And now think some more, internalize this more. So who are you then? Who are you? Here's where you're supposed to say infinity. Bhagavan Brahma wants to know who he is. Bhagavan Narayana is saying you're infinity. The same goes with us. You are not your hair. You're not your body. In our youth camp, one question Devi had asked me is, how does one have less social anxiety? How does one have less social anxiety? And I said, your social anxiety begins with your body identification. Your sexual orientation, your gender, your appearance. And my simple message to her was, you see all of these people sitting around you? Every one of them has social anxiety also. You think they're thinking about you, but they're so lost in their own minds, they're not thinking about you, so be free. It's like public speaking. Nobody ever listens to the speaker. So why are you afraid of public speaking? I've been doing this for 12 years. Nobody ever listens. That's why I just keep coming back. You are infinity. At our ashram in Niagara Falls, we have a stairwell to go from the first floor to the second floor. In the first landing, there's just a simple sign that says Tattvamasi, which means you are infinity in this language. And then when you get to the top landing, there's that same frame and sign that says Aham Brahmasmi, I am infinity. And people love to look at it and say it, not that anyone ever actually feels it. So now we go to the fourth quarter. Yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. Bhagavan Narayana is telling Bhagavan Brahma, what was the capital word in the previous statement? If. Here again, if. Can you say that back, please? If. More passion. If. Like something blew up in your mind, that a breakthrough. Say it again. If. There's an effect. If there's an effect, that effect is? Please, Bhagavan Narayana. Is? Yes! If there's an effect, that effect is infinity. So now look around and you can see your skin, you can see the chairs, you can see the weather, you can see different personalities. All of these effects are infinity. If there's an effect, that effect also is infinity. And that's a huge if. And that compassion and relatability that we feel like we're an effect, this effect is infinity. How many of you have heard Swami Chinmayananda speak about the logic of spirituality? The logic of spirituality essentially is based on Chatushloki Bhagavatam, which is why Swami Tejomayananda shared with us many times, before you study Bhagavad Gita, what do you have to study? Srimad Bhagavatam. The 18,000 verses prepare you for the 700 verses. But we're way more advanced than the entire Guru Shishya Parampara system. We just go straight to Brahma Sutra. Forget about the Upanishads. We need the construction of the Upanishads to study Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, now I'm going to share what this entire shloka is teaching us in a relative way. Be open to your potential. If you forgot all of the ifs and the infinity, it's not right, but fine. Be open to your potential. I'm not even saying be open to your nature. That we've already talked about. Just be open to your potential, that your potential is exponentially more than what you feel it is. Even if you feel you're operating at a high level, it's still exponentially more than that. I was chatting with some of our young adults yesterday about how long of a day it was, but how little one felt tired because they were tuned into, in a closer way, that they are infinity, in a closer way. So it's a different fuel. It's like having those infinity stones. One infinity stone versus, is there 5 or 6? 6, right? 1 versus 6, you're just closer to that infinity. Shri Lakshmana, in the Ramayana, when he was serving outside of Ayodhya, serving Bhagwan Rama and Mother Sita, what did he eat? What did he eat? Einstein bagels. What did he eat at lunch? Chipotle. It's not what did he eat. He didn't eat. How much did he sleep? He didn't sleep. How was he surviving on no food and no sleep? Because he was close to Rama. Now for us, the word Rama means happiness. And it does mean happiness. The happier you are, the less maintenance you become. The sadder you are, the more high maintenance you are. Now every TV show we watch, do we watch shows about people who are low maintenance or high maintenance? Right? Talk about role modeling. The Kardashians, The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. Everyone's so high maintenance in all of these shows, and we love it. We love it. But you're giving your time there. Sing, seek, serve, worship, become. Be open to your potential. Be open to developing virtues. If you think that you have an anger problem, understand that you can change that. If you feel that you're impatient with your parents, you can change that. If you feel you lack motivation to get up in the morning, if you're open to your potential, you will shift to virtue development then. All right? We're going to move on to the next shloka. What's the key word? Oh, we have to chant this one together again. Everyone's ready? Now you know the main messages in each quarter. As this is being chanted, pull up those main messages. Ahameva samevagre nanyad yat sadasat param paschadaham yadetacha yo vashishyeta sosmyaham. Key word in the second shloka, not infinity, but illusion. Infinity is real. In this shloka, what's highlighted? Illusion is unreal. Infinity is real, illusion is unreal. Please repeat after me. Reter tam yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tadvidyadatmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. And this is a lovely shloka. Profound, simple, there's a comparison built in here. First quarter. Reter tam yat pratiyeta, which shares. Illusion depends on infinity. Illusion depends on infinity. So making this more relative. What is one of the most famous cities and sites in Bharat? Cities and sites. Taj Mahal, think more Sattvic. Tirupati, right? What is one of the most famous cities and sites in North America? Vegas, think more Sattvic. Niagara Falls, that's right. And it's factual, right? Every relative of yours that comes, where do you automatically want to go? To Niagara Falls. New York, too much effort. Niagara Falls is easier. So you come to Niagara Falls. Yes? Have any of you ever gone souvenir shopping in Niagara Falls? Yeah? What do you buy as a souvenir when you go to Niagara Falls? Fridge magnets? Yes. And? This is like Family Feud, you know? What? Tell us a time about fridge magnet. What else? A mug? Yes, yes, you're doing well. And? Snow globes? Yes. And? T-shirts, keychains, and I'm still looking for one more. House spoons, magnets, shot glass, more Sattvic. I think that you buy those plaques. They're called plaques. Those like things you hang on the wall and there's a postcard inside and you hang your keys on that too. I grew up in retail. I know about all of these things. You probably bought it from me. You supported my education. Thank you. When you buy the mugs or the keychains, what do you see on them other than the Niagara Falls? Other than the actual Niagara Falls that flow of water, what else do you consistently see on all of the? A rainbow, that's right. A rainbow. If there's a rainbow, what does that rainbow depend on? On sunlight and water. Let's treat that as one unit. Sunlight, water, let's treat it as one unit. If you remove sunlight, water, what also goes away? The rainbow. That rainbow depends on sunlight, water. That illusion depends on infinity. If there's no infinity, there's no illusion. If there's no sand, there can't be a mirage. If there's no screen, there can't be a movie. So that's what's being shared here. Now check yourself. I didn't mean that in there. Check yourself right now. Don't, and I shouldn't even use the word don't because we don't register it this way. Try to shift from externalizing this to internalizing this. Try to forget about Bhagavan Brahma. Put yourself there. Try to forget about Bhagavan Narayana. Imagine this is just an Akashvani. This is a message from your life that's speaking to you. What do you feel is reality? And automatically, we'll feel our hunger is. What people think about us is. Me, getting a job with all of these letters and me having this type of income. When all of that, everything I described, and we can keep on going, depends on that which is most universal. What is most universal? Existence, awareness, joy. We call that the truth. We call that infinity. When Ravana comes to Mother Sita in Ashoka Vatika, he says, your husband is a... Remember yesterday I said about a sadhu? What word comes in mind with sadhu? Poor. That's your husband. He's wandering around, crying. He has nothing. He is nothing. Look at me. I have so many heads. I have so many arms. I have so much of gold. My whole Lanka is made up of gold. You should marry me. And he goes on with this. And Mother Sita then picks up a blade of grass. She's on the ground. She picks up this blade of grass. And looking at this blade of grass, she speaks to Ravana. Essentially sharing, and there's a lovely dialogue, everything you described is less worthwhile than this blade of grass, which is why I'm focusing on the blade of grass and not what you're saying. And he becomes livid then. So now then what happens? Tell us. Grass part is done, tell us what happens next. He takes out his sword and says, I'll cut you down if you don't marry me in a month. And she is unperturbed by that. Everything that we feel is real is just that blade of grass. And there's so many statements that solidify this. If you're happy, it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have. True? If you're unhappy, it doesn't matter what you have or what you don't have. What you have and what you don't have depends on happiness. Illusion depends on infinity. The second quarter says, Na pratiyeta chatmani. The illusion is powerless to infinity. The illusion is powerless to infinity. Does that rainbow ever affect that water or sunlight? Does the mirage ever wet the sand? Does it ever wet the sand? Now, stop externalizing by using these visual, natural examples and go to yourself. Because you feel stress and anxiety, does that actually affect who you fundamentally are? You are joy, whether you know it or not. You are ananda, whether you feel it or not. But if you do know it and do feel it, all of a sudden you start to benefit by it. Okay. Small example. Today I was listening to NPR about how United, American Airlines, and Southwest, they're suffering big time because of the Boeing planes. They've planned for these Boeing planes to come in, but they're not coming in, so they're doubling how many flights that are being canceled. Actually, one of our Davies, who was supposed to be here today, that happened to her. So her flight got canceled and she couldn't be here right now. So Southwest is great because they'll allow you to make changes without a change fee. Yes? Other larger airlines, they make billions on change fees. Now, if you book a ticket and for whatever reason you can't go, but you don't know that Southwest will allow you to change without a fee, then you feel, I'm not going to call them because it's going to cost me more to change my flight than actually have to do whatever. Yes? So you just let that go away and you book a new flight. You've wasted a lot of money, correct? But if you know about their policy, you just go online and you change it. That knowledge allows you to benefit from saving all of that money, correct? And all of that hassle. We intellectually know that our nature is joy. Intellectually, it's in our head, but it's not in our heart. We believe it, but we don't have faith in it. This illusion is powerless to infinity. And now I'll wrap up with the last two lines. They're most practical. Tad vidyad atmano mayam. Here is the most accurate definition of what Maya is. The most accurate definition of Maya. Ma yaha. Which means, ma means not. Like we chant, ma vid vishavahai. Ma means not, no, negative. And yaha means is, present. So Maya means not present. Not here, is not. That's what Maya means. Not present. So, your stress is Maya. What does Maya mean? Not present. All of a sudden you don't have stress. It's just that easy and that cheap. When Yoda is teaching Luke and says your next exercise is you have to go into this abyss. And Luke asks Yoda what will be there. And Yoda's response is, whatever you bring with you. So who ends up being in that abyss? Darth Vader. Is Darth Vader actually there? In a real sense? No. And if Luke just knows Maya, if he studied Srimad Bhagavatam, then he would know not present. Darth Vader, not present. Stress, not present. Judgment, not present. Tiredness, not present. The way that Swami Tejamananda shares this, Maya is that which makes the impossible possible. I'm not showing you that my book says this. My book says grace makes the impossible possible. I'll talk about that tomorrow. Maya makes the impossible possible. Got it? I'll show you in 3 very relatable ways how this is true. I'll knock it down to 2. Maya makes that which is non-existent existent, and that which is existent non-existent. Got it? The non-existent becomes? The existent becomes? The non-existent becomes existent. Rope. Sorry. Snake. Is the snake non-existent? Yes. But now all of a sudden I feel it is existent. Now let's go to the rope. Is the rope existent? Yes. But I feel it is non-existent. Example number 1, you got the rope snake example. And it's because of Maya, but Maya is not present. Snake, not present. But that snake depends on the rope. If you saw my phone lying on the ground, would you think it's a snake in the dark? No, you may think it's a card or a wallet, but you're not going to think it's a snake. The fact that we see that snake shows that there's something else there. I just don't know it. Okay. Now, in our day-to-day affairs, Maya makes the means the ends, and makes the ends, not even the means, it makes it non-existent. Maya makes the means the ends. What is the truthful ends for every one of us? What is the aspiration for every one of us? Infinity or happiness, moksha, we describe it by different ways. That's the ends. But now Maya makes the ends non-existent. So now no moksha. So the means become the ends. What are the means? Dharma, artha, kama, which is pleasure, possession, and position. That to us is the ends. This happens all the times, no? we measure our time and measure our effort, it's going towards dharma, artha, kama, and not towards moksha. So to finish this shloka, last quarter, yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. This maya is being compared to a reflection. If I had a mirror here and I had my watch here, and you see the reflection of my watch, the reflection is maya. The more important part than the reflection is the original, which is this watch. You don't buy reflections, you buy that which is original, yes? It's just a reflection. And then maya is also compared to darkness. If we turn all the lights off in this room, does it darken the wall? When you turn the lights on then, is the walls, are they darkened because of that darkness? Is your skin affected? Do you have to go wash off that darkness? So now, everything that we're experiencing, the stress, the anxiety, the frustration, whatever we're experiencing, that is not leaving a residue on who you are. You don't have to go on cleaning all of that up. It's not even possible. Just to know infinity is real, illusion is unreal. In a most relative way, be open. What was my relative message for the first shloka? Be open to your potential. Engage in virtue development. Here it is, be open to your purpose. Be open to your purpose. Right now, I would say 99% of us feel everything that's being shared is theoretical, is not practical. How will I use this at school and work and with my significant other? And despite Bhagavan Narayana, despite me trying to analyze all of this, it may not be going from our head to our heart, which is why I'm sharing, just be open. If this distance is blocked, it's never going to get from there to there. Just be open to it. Be open to what your purpose is. Just because your parents think that you should go to school to get this job, etc., 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 does that make them right? Their love is right, but that doesn't mean their direction is right. Be open to your purpose, and this looks like a reprioritization. A reprioritization of what you're doing. Reprioritization of where your time is going, where your effort is going. Bhagavan Brahma asks, who am I? This is the most intimate factor that needs to be established. If you don't know who you are, everything that radiates from that is inconsequential. If you're using a GPS and you know where you're going, but that GPS doesn't know where you are, that GPS serves no purpose, right? You're just playing with buttons and feeling comforted, but it doesn't know what to do right now. Right? You go on to Google Maps and it says where you want to go, but you can't fill in the second line. Even Google can't help you then. No, Google can. It'll figure it out. You press allow, it will find it will find where you are. But the most intimate, I'm saying not interesting, it is interesting too, but intimate factor that needs to be established is, who are you? Who are you? And this comes through contemplating. In the words of Acharya Shankara, becoming. Contemplation leads to meditation. Becoming leads to being. That's the highlight of the first shloka. Now, about the second shloka, the most comprehensive ignoring we're doing is of who we are. Most comprehensive. We just keep escaping through travels and making money and judgment and whatever else we think is right, but we're ignoring establishing this factor. It's so comprehensive. We use this and throw this word around, ignorance. There has to be ignorance of. You can't just have ignorance. It's always based on a locus. So ignorance is us ignoring who we are. And it's comprehensive in the ways we justify our escapism. So few people come to such retreats. If this retreat was about relaxing your body, we'd have 3 times as many people here. If it was about relaxing the body. Yes? It's that comprehensive. We don't want to. We're afraid of knowing who we are. Because it will require working harder and smarter than we've ever dreamed about and imagined. But as Swami Tejomayananda shared, the amount of effort we put in for the reward that we get are incomparable. You just have to put in this much of effort and you get this much of a reward. The second shloka is telling us, how do you get to contemplation? Reflection and introspection. How do you get to becoming? Worshipping, serving, seeking, singing. The first shloka is about vision. The second shloka is about lifestyle. Oh.